At the end of the first video, we got as far as drilling the hole in the hull. Now you see we have tapers cut and threaded holes. I'll explain those in a bit. But first, the hole is oversized for Sikaflex seal around the through hole. I put tape around the through hole fitting so when I dry fit it through, it's centered, and then when I set the valve on the top on the inside, I can mark the holes and the hole will be centered. This was a difficult area to work with. Filming it live was just impossible, so I'll go over the details of what I did. You see this block sitting there. That's just a piece of 2-inch ABS plumbing pipe. I filled it with resin and then drilled a hole in it. That way I could sit it over top of the through hole and I could drill my holes through square. After I drilled my holes through, and I drilled them small, I drilled them with a 3/16 and then I threaded them from the outside. This block is nothing special, it's just a piece of 2-inch PVC. I mixed milled glass into my resin and then I poured it in and let it harden up. You see the taper here, so I can get it nice and close to the edge where I need to drill. It's just a drill guide. Final assembly, everything will get a coat of Sikaflex on it. This is just dry fitting. I cut a 1/8 inch rubber gasket that I'll coat both sides. I always put a gasket between the hull and the valve. Fiberglass threads really easily, so be careful, but just run it through with a drill. It'll make nice threads. The glass here is 1 inch thick, so even with that taper, I have 3/4 of an inch of thread in my hole. Again, for final assembly, these bolt heads would have a little bit of Sikaflex around them to seal them. But at 3/4 of an inch of glass, you're not going to get any water through there anyway. Now it's time to remove the tape off our through hole fitting. I've measured the thickness of the hull, I've measured the threads up inside the valve, and I have cut the through hole fitting accordingly. I have a 1/8 inch gasket, so I've cut my through hole. The thread length is 2 1/4 inches. There's a gap between the threads in the valve and the actual valve, so you can let it extend just a little bit. Now let's put it in the hole. If I can do this, holding my camera. There you go. Finished. And there's what the valve looks like from the inside, installed. You see this little hole in the side right here. That's where I took a plug out. There's a plug on each side. As per Groco, you remove both those plugs. You close the valve. You put a Zerk fitting in one hole. And you fill the cavity around the ball with Dow 111 grease. Then you take the Zerk fittings out and reinsert the plugs. This protects the valve from any moisture intrusion. It also lubricates the valve. I hope you've enjoyed these 2 videos on installing a hole valve. If you have comments, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them. Thank you.